What's going on, everyone? Jack here from Half Chrome. Now, you may have seen that we made a couple of top 10 videos. Top 10 videos, things that we like and dislike about the Mavic Air 2. Now, on our dislike video, typically we get a lot of responses of people telling us why we're wrong. Hey, I like that. I want to know what can we do better. And one of the things that people mentioned was quick shots can be taken in 4K. You just have to update the firmware, which, of course, we've done. It is true that you can do some quick shots in 4K, and notice I said some, not all of them. So I'm going to show you how to do that, talk about which one isn't in 4K, and how I think DJI can make quick shots even better. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to start with Chris flying the drone here, and he's going to do some quick shots. We're going to start with the Dronie, and actually we're going to start with the Dronie in 1080p. And the reason we're going to do that is so that you can compare. Do you really need 4K quick shots? 4K video or even 2.7K video, yes, they're sharper, but they take up a lot more memory and a lot more space. And if your goal is just to upload them quickly to Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or something like that and just to share with family and friends, do you really need 4K? I'll let you make that call. So we're going to look at a 1080p Dronie compared to a 4K Dronie before we kind of dive into some of this other stuff. Now keep in mind we shot these at different resolutions, right? We shot the first Dronie at 1080p, we shot the second one at 4K. We then have to convert this to a 4K file, so we have some uploading, and then it goes into YouTube, who compress the crap out of this thing. So, you know, there's that. But you do have to keep in mind what you're watching on also plays a role, right? If you're watching on your smartphone, you know, you're probably not going to notice or be able to notice much of a difference in 4K, right? If you're on a giant 80-inch TV, that may be a little bit different. Okay, so we obviously have the drone coming back and you're watching through the screen. This is what we see on our phone. Now Chris is going to go ahead and switch it to 4K. To do that, you tap on the menu, and then you're going to get into the camera settings here. You can see right up at the top, you have 1080p, 2.7K, and 4K. You can also switch the format, the color to decine-alike if you would like. And then there's the anti-flickering if you're interested in that. So now Chris is going to set the shot up. Notice how he's holding the controller. That's for you, Lon, as we get ready for this Dronie now in 4K. So we're just going to kind of position the drone so that it's a very similar flight. And you kind of select your subject, 3, 2, 1, and go in 4K. So it is nice that you now have the option to shoot in 4K or 2.7K if that's what you prefer. You know, DJI does a really nice job of listening to the consumer and making their drones better with firmware upgrades, right, or updates. So that is pretty normal, right? Normal for the course. They listen, they fix things, they know that they can make their product better, and they do. You know, so, you know, if you want to shoot in 4K, do it. If you want to switch to, you know, your color profile to Cinelike, or if you want to shoot in 264, 265 for these quick shots, you can do all of that. So it is nice that you have some options now in 4K. Now, do I shoot in 4K? Not usually, but that's a personal preference. Now Chris is going ahead and setting up an asteroid. Now this is actually probably my favorite quick shot. It's just really unique, and if you haven't seen how these work, we're going to run it through, right? I'm playing it at 3 times speed so you don't have to, you know, wait quite as long, but it's a really unique shot, and it goes up and around, and it takes a bunch of pictures and then it stitches them together. And it's, you know, a little bit more intensive in terms of processing power. And that, my friends, is why I don't believe you can do this one in 4K. So the asteroid mode, and here it comes, and this is what it'll look like, still in 1080p. Even though we want to shoot it in 4K, we can't. You know, it's just not capable of doing this one in 4K yet. All right, so we're going to show you a quick helix that Chris did. This is also in 4K. It's a pretty unique mode, another one that I really do enjoy. Now keep in mind, you have to update your firmware to do this, and this firmware update took about an hour and half of a battery, so you kind of have to know that going into this, right? You're gonna want to update your firmware from time to time, but you know, if you don't have extra batteries, don't plan to update and then go fly. So just keep that in mind. Now here we have another 4K rocket, just another one of those flight modes. It's a good one. Love the shadow effect here. Just really pretty cool. Some birds flying overhead, but also in 4K. You know, it is nice to have the option to be able to shoot in 4K, even with these quick shots. But you know what else I would love? HDR, right? What about a drone at sunset using HDR? That would be epic. That is something that we don't have. So hey, DJI, if you're listening, how about another firmware update? Let's get some HDR quick shots. I think HDR is one of the best features coming out of the Mavic Air 2 with that quad Bayer filter. It really does a nice job of producing HDR video. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful. You know what? We've got a playlist full of all sorts of Mavic Air 2 videos, flight tests, range tests, camera quality, HDR, 48 megapixels. Is it worth it, right? We've done a lot of different tests. You're definitely going to want to check that out. If you haven't already, we got a link in the description down below, or you can check in the corner up here. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, check us out on halfchrome.com. We've got lots of stuff from photography to FPV. Good luck and happy flying.